folks, Jonathan here. Back working on the engine a little bit. Just wanted to show you a few things. I've gotten a lot of the case cleaned up, smoothed out. This piece I've already smoothed out and actually put the oven cleaner on it. And as you can see, the USA stands out really good. You see it really good. I've got my hose tapped for the pipe thread. Now I've just got these stuck in there. I'm not using these. I'm going to use brass or copper. I'll make them and then I'll put a screwdriver slot in them just because the look that I want. And I've got a little bit more to clean up, not bad at all. But once I'm done, I'll put the oven cleaner on this. It'll take some of that shine down and make it look more like an original. So we'll keep it that. And I've got some new stuff in, some parts in. I got the half links in for the chain for the Magneto 25. The chain's not here yet, but I had to order. I actually ordered from two different companies because I try to buy whatever's the cheapest. But one thing about chain is when you order it, you definitely need to get half lengths because you're limited on length when you're using a full length. A full length, you got to use it and another inside length. So, you know, a half length is basically using one length, and the regular length is like using two lengths. Anyway, I think everything else here everybody's seen. I've got a couple other things I want to show. Okay, a lot of you may have seen that JDC 5577 had posted that he had some plug wire, and I actually picked out the orange, but he sent me a few different ones, and actually what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different styles, and I was having trouble choosing because you know, they all look good to me. I like them, so I got to go through and choose which one I like. I sort of like the black with the orange. I don't know. We'll end up using one of them for sure. I sure appreciate him sending them. And he sent the ends, which is these are crimp-on ends, and these are the solder-on ends, which, you know, both of them really need soldered, either one you use. But and I think I'll use like this. He sent the thumb screw too. I think this is what I'll use. I may have to file it down a little bit and make it a little bit smaller for this plug, but I'd rather have it bigger than too small. And then the thumb screw is fine. That's what I wanted. I wanted, you know, something that'll stand out anyway. And we may leave that because it looks good with the thumb screw. So once we get the wire crimped on there and everything, and then we'll do the other end. And the other end will work out perfect. We'll have to drill the hole out a little bit. As you can see, it's got looks like a 1/4 inch 20 or that's fine thread. So we'll have to drill it out a little bit for it, but it'll work out perfect. We'll have a nice old school style plug on it, or plug wire. Okay, where we're at now and what we're working on. This is actually the sprocket for the Magneto. This is the end that goes on the Magneto. And I know I've got a kind of cobbled up hole down here, but it works. What I'm doing, grab the Magneto here. As you can see, the Magneto has a hole with a slot, and I'm actually going to inset this with the slots coming out. This, you know, this being the female side, this is going to become the male side, and this will slide in it. And on the outside of it, I'll run a shaft in it. This is a 3/8, and I'll run a bearing on the outboard and come up with something to come out and around to hold the bearing. And I've actually got some little bearings here that I thought about using. Now these are really small. They're actually metric, so they're just a little bit bigger than the 3/8, but we can work with that. It wouldn't matter. But my only worry is I really can't put a hole in these the way that they're made to be able to get grease back in them. They're sealed with rubber on each side, so they may hold grease fine. Thought about it, maybe a bushing and a grease cup, one of the screw down grease cups you tighten down to get more grease to it. So we'll decide. But what we've got to do is machine this, and which is sort of a complicated deal because I can turn it down on the lathe, but it's not going to have the T-slot sticking out. So we've got to get them the right size, and kind of aggravating, but we're going to get it. I've got, first thing I did was dial indicate the rotary table into exact center, and then I put the gear at exact center, and I did that by I used a 3/8 pin in here. As you can see, as it comes down, it goes directly in the center of the hole. So that means it's, you know, exactly centered with the machine, and then this is centered because I dial indicated it in, you know, beforehand. So we're good to go there. What I may do for this slot across is to measure it, and I think I'll take an end mill and go ahead and cut just shallow a slot across there the same width, and that'll give me an idea and keep me from accidentally going too far. Maybe cut a little bit of a slot, maybe take the black magic marker and black it in. But anyway, we're going to get to work on that now, and I'm going to get the fan back on. It's about 100 degrees in here, I think. We got a severe heat warning or whatever you want to call it. They call it something. Anyway, it's hot. Too hot. So let me get back at it here. Okay, here's our slot. It's barely down. I'm going to fill it in black best I can anyway. And then I'm going to go over a little bit, and then I'll just wipe the top of it down. And that's what we don't want melt away. And then we got to get our outside diameter right also. It'll take a little work. We'll get it. Okay. That's one of the reasons I like working on old magnetos and stuff like that. That slot's 1/4 inch. The idea of the hole on the magneto is 1 inch. So they keep everything nice and simple. So we've just got to machine everything out of here that don't include the black line down to a 1 inch diameter in the center. Let's get at it. Okay folks, hopefully you can hear me over the fans. We got a heat advisory today, and it's hotter than can be, so I've got 2 fans are running. Anyway, here's our piece. We got it machined out. Not the prettiest machine work in the world, but it is right. And you can see I just went in. I think that's about a 1/16 end mill. I ran up the sides of this and went in just a little bit so we wouldn't have a radius there. We still got a radius, it's just farther in. And that way it'll fit in there okay. But it's kind of tight. I put it in once. Well, I guess it ain't real tight now. It's gone. Tap it in the rest of the way. Anyway. Now what we got to do is come out with the shaft. And I don't know if I'm going to use one of them little bushing or little bearings or not. I'm kind of scared of it. I mean, I might use the brass and put an oil cup on it. You see, this thing's got O-rings in the ends, needle bearings. I'm just afraid, I don't know that I could even drill through it, but if I could get a hole in it, it wouldn't be so bad. But that would be nice to sit out here, you know, make a piece to hold it, come around the bottom and put it in the screws here. We just need to get a little bit of support on it. I don't want it to wear the bearing or the bushing out in this magneto. That'll help make sure that it runs straight. But that's going to work good for driving it. We don't have to key anything, and we're keeping it, you know, as short as we can keep it, doing it that way. So anyway, let me get figured out what we're going to do on here, and we've got to make sure it clears our chain. You know, we don't want to build something that's just going to be in the way of the chain. So anyway, I'll show you more. Okay, I think I'm going to put this on hold here a little bit until we can get a mount made on the engine. That way we can make sure we clear our chain okay. So anyway, so I think we're going to work on that oil dipper, the Slinger, and see what we can get done on it. Okay folks, I had to leave for a while and do some towing and a wreck and back. I did get the dipper or the Slinger off of the brakes. So what I'm thinking, we've got some thickness and some room there to put 2 screws in. So I think I'll make a plate around it, around the crankshaft, and this will be welded to the plate at the right height. And if I cut it and do it right, it'll put it about, well, if I cut it straight up here, it'll put it at about 7 o'clock. We're going to shorten it up quite a bit, but we want it to get close to the bottom but not touch the bottom. I haven't smoothed the surface out inside of here yet, and I'm going to. It won't take me but a couple minutes to do it. Just haven't took the time to do it. But I think that's going to work good. I don't like the fact that I can't get them as deep as I want. I don't think I've got a bottoming tap. So what I'll do is I'll start the tap, take it out, cut it off, do it again, and I'll do it until I get a full-size thread bottomed out. I'll just have to sacrifice the tap, which is not a big deal. Got plenty of taps, just don't have any bottoming taps. I don't think I do, I'll look. But as you can see, there's not much to that. You know, it just grabs enough oil to sling up. And we're going clockwise, so it'll go, you know, that direction. So we'll go ahead and see if I can get something made on this by right height. And then we'll see what we're going to have to do about drilling this. Alright. Okay folks, we've got the crankshaft set up in the vise, just snug down. We're going to have to turn it, of course, to get it where I want to drill the holes to tap. But here's what I made. You can see it's same shape of the crank, radiused around it, or bent around it. And as you can see, there's 2 little tabs here. And I made them, I'm hoping once I get the bolts in it that I can bend these up around it. And to keep them from backing out, I can use Loctite or whatever, but you know, a mechanical lock to me seems like it, you know, a whole lot more safe anyway. But while I've got the crank out, of course, I gotta do the keyway for this gear and the keyway for the sprocket. So we'll get them. And a friend of mine, I needed a piece of 5-inch solid for the pulley, but it's also going to be an extra flywheel weight. The more weight you get on a rotating assembly, usually the better you can get it to idle low and run good. So what I'm using for the pulley is a solid piece. It was 6-inch, and he went ahead and turned it down to 5, and because you know he had it up on his machine to cut it anyway, so he knocked it out for me. It's about, I think, 3 inches wide. We may have to take some of it off, but I'm going to make it where it fits our piece that we've got, which is a clutch hub or a clutch basket, and I'll show you that a little later. But as soon as I've got to get over and pick up the piece that he cut off for me. I didn't have any stock big enough. But anyway, we're going to try to get on this and get this piece mounted on there. Now, I accidentally made this a little too long, which is not a problem. I mean, I can cut down the center and bend these out a little bit. I might want to make them actually where they'll pick up a little bit more oil. We're going to go ahead and try to get it mounted on here either way. And that's the rough part, because like I said, these holes, you know, I'm not going to be able to go real deep with these holes. I'm going to have to come up with some screws. We've got to make sure the screws don't come around when the crank turns and hit anything inside. We've got plenty of room center wise for, you know, this to fit through, and you know, it's going to go right in between, but it'll work out. And of course my light just went off. It comes on when it wants to. Alright, okay, we're tapping the hole. Drilled one. We're going to tap at least part of the way before we cut the end of the tap off. We're going to turn it and do the other one. I don't know, I guess I showed you the piece I'm using. But anyway, we're getting at it. Okay folks, we've got them drilled and tapped, thank goodness. I'm going to hunt up some lock washers. I'm not sure if I'm going to try to use my little locks, bend them over, maybe put a notch. Once I get it tightened down, maybe put a notch in the socket head cap screws. These are 832. And what I done was I just continued to, I'd tap and then I'd take it out and then I'd go grind the end of the tap. So I mean, made a bottom tap out of a regular tap, but that's not a problem. And I did leave just a little bit of taper, so it gets pretty tight there at the end. And anything I can do to help hold it. We'll definitely Loctite them too, but I think that's going to work. Let's get them back out, figure out where we need to cut them at, you know, because of course they're too long. And we of course didn't get into the bearing at all on this, so we're good to go. So we didn't break through at all, so which was the whole goal to start with. So all right, let me see if I can get some lock washers and get these shortened up. Okay folks, I ended up with Loctite, lock washers, and then I milled a flat on each one of these socket head cap screws, and I bent our little chains up to it, so that should help hold it. So I think we'll be fine on it. You know, I don't want to take chances at all. So anyway, let's see if we can get some more stuff figured out on this. And like I said, I'm going to have to shorten this up. All right. Okay, we have the crank down in it. I haven't shortened it yet. I'm going to shorten it a little bit, as you can see. Not much, but we can work with that. But give you an idea of how it works. You know, it turns clockwise, so this is what it's going to be doing. Just dipping down in, slinging the oil. That's all it's got to do. And you can probably see how close it is inside. But it clears everything just fine. It won't move. You know, it's good and tight. We don't have to worry about that. So anything, get a little bit shorter to where it clears really good in here. We don't have to worry about it hitting the case. I'm only looking at about a little over 1/8 of an amp. But I think that's going to work good for us. And as you can see, you know, being straight on it, it's, get the rod straight here. It's about what I was saying, about 7 o'clock, facing down that way. So it'll work out fine. All right, we get this shortened up, and we're getting pretty close here. I think the chain for the magneto should be in the mailbox down there. Haven't checked it, but we're moving right along on this thing. So hopefully we'll be doing some testing for the oil here soon. All right. Okay, folks, I went ahead and put our oil drain plug in. I didn't put underneath because I didn't know how close the frame was going to be. I didn't want to put myself in a bind there, so I went ahead and put it real low on the side, and I'll show you how I done it. Went ahead and machined all the way in and set it up to where that'll be the low, you know, a low point, and so when we drain it, it'll all drain out. And I've got, like I said, I still got to do the surface here, and I'll show you what I've done with the parts here. Okay, I went ahead and finished cleaning up what I was going to clean up on these covers, and went ahead and put some oven cleaner on them and rinsed them off. I think I'm just going to leave them like they are. They just look sort of the old school. Instead of, you know, cleaning them up, I don't really want to polish them or anything like that. I mean, it would be a lot of work too, and I want to go ahead and get this thing, you know, some smoke blowing on it. But got all our parts here, except for just a few little things that's on its way in. So next video, we're going to start assembling, and, you know, assembling permanent. And we'll get the crankcase together, and then we'll do our little oil test we're going to do. And you know, I'm feel certain that we won't have any problems there. I just want to test it anyway before I wrap it up. So anyway, appreciate everybody watching. Till next time, bye.